What if I told you the greatest American president was once considered a complete failure? A man who lost elections, failed in business, suffered heartbreak, battled depression, and was told again and again that he would never succeed. Yet that same man changed history forever. This is not just a story about politics. This is a story about resilience, about rejection, about standing up when life keeps knocking you down. Before Abraham Lincoln became the symbol of freedom, he was a man drowning in defeat. And the truth is, his failures were not obstacles. They were the training ground for greatness. If you have ever felt behind, ignored, or defeated, then this story might change the way you see your own struggles forever. Abraham Lincoln was not born powerful. He was not rich. He was not connected. He was born in 1809 inside a small log cabin in Kentucky. His family was poor, so poor that formal education was almost impossible. Lincoln had less than 1 year of total schooling. Instead of classrooms, he learned by candlelight, reading borrowed books, after long days of physical labor. While other children had teachers, Lincoln had determination. At the age of 9, tragedy struck. His mother died, leaving a deep emotional scar that followed him for the rest of his life. Many historians believe this loss shaped his empathy and emotional strength. But at that moment, it was simply pain. A young boy learning early that life does not play fair. As a young man, Lincoln tried to build a future. He started a business with a friend. The business failed, leaving him buried in debt. Debt so large it took him nearly 17 years to repay. Imagine starting adulthood already financially broken. Most people would quit right there. Lincoln did not. In 1832, he ran for the Illinois state legislature. He lost. His political career ended before it even began. That same year, he lost his job and struggled just to survive. Failure number 1 in politics. Failure number 2 in life. Yet instead of walking away, he studied harder, taught himself law, and tried again. In 1835, the woman he loved, Anne Rutledge, died suddenly. Lincoln fell into severe depression. Friends feared for his life. He withdrew emotionally, questioning his purpose and future. Many people would have disappeared from public life forever. But Lincoln slowly rebuilt himself, choosing purpose over despair. 2 years later, he suffered a nervous breakdown. He was physically and emotionally exhausted. But even during his darkest moments, he kept learning, kept improving, kept preparing for opportunities that did not yet exist. Lincoln finally won a seat in the Illinois legislature, but success did not suddenly arrive. He failed repeatedly afterward, lost a bid for Speaker of the House. He lost a nomination for Congress. He lost another election for Congress. He lost a Senate race. Then he lost the nomination for Vice President. Each defeat was public. Each defeat was humiliating. Newspapers mocked him. Critics called him weak, awkward, and unelectable. Think about that moment. Imagine failing again and again while the entire country watches. Most people fear one rejection. Lincoln survived decades of them. But here is what made Lincoln different. He did not measure success by immediate results. He measured it by growth. Every failure sharpened his communication. Every loss strengthened his patience. Every rejection deepened his understanding of people. He turned setbacks into preparation. By the 1850s, America was divided over slavery. The nation stood on the edge of collapse. Lincoln was not the most famous politician. He was not the most experienced. He was not even the favorite candidate. But he had something others lacked: resilience forged through hardship. In 1860, after nearly 30 years of failures, Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States. The same man once labeled a failure, now carried the weight of a nation on his shoulders. Almost immediately the country fell into civil war. 11 states seceded. Critics said Lincoln was unfit to lead. Generals ignored him. The war went badly at first. Thousands died and pressure surrounded him from every direction. Yet Lincoln relied on lessons learned through failure, patience, persistence, and moral clarity. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, changing the purpose of the war and beginning the end of slavery. It was one of the boldest decisions in American history, a decision made by a man who understood suffering because he had lived it. Lincoln once said that his greatest concern was not whether God was on his side, but whether he was on the side of what was right. That mindset came from years of struggle. Failure had removed his ego and replaced it with humility and purpose. By the time the Civil War ended, Lincoln had preserved the Union and reshaped the moral direction of America. The man who lost business, elections, and personal battles became one of the most respected leaders in history. But the most powerful lesson is this: Lincoln did not succeed because he avoided failure. He succeeded because he endured it. Every defeat built emotional endurance. Every setback strengthened character. Every painful chapter prepared him for a responsibility bigger than himself. Today many people quit after one rejection, one failed project, one difficult year. Lincoln faced decades of disappointment before reaching his defining moment. His life proves that success is not a straight line. It is a long road, filled with setbacks that secretly shape your future strength. If Lincoln had stopped after his first loss, America would have lost one of its greatest leaders. History would look completely different. The world remembers his victory, but greatness was built in the invisible years when nobody believed in him. So the next time life feels unfair, remember the man who failed more times than most people dare to try. Remember that progress often looks like struggle before it looks like success. Your failures are not evidence that you are losing. They may be proof that you are being prepared. Because sometimes the greatest success story begins as the greatest failure story. And just like Abraham Lincoln, your hardest moments might be shaping the future version of you that the world has not met yet.